This video is to explain formatting an MLA paper, and this is for BTEC 120. And I only have a limited amount of time to explain this, so I'm going to go through it rather fast. So feel free to stop the video, rewatch any part you need to, but I have to zip through it because I only have so much time for YouTube videos because I'm not a paid subscriber. All right, so let's get started. Here is your starting document. Looks like this. It's a paper about Samoa. And this is a plagiarized paper, so you may not use it in a class. This is just for formatting practice. All right, so the first thing about an MLA paper is the whole thing has to be double spaced. Now we could have started, before we even started typing, I could have made this double spaced, but I didn't. So what I'm gonna do is select the whole document. So remember, I'm in the selection bar area and I'm triple clicking and the whole thing is selected. I'm gonna put on my show hide. Also my screen, my toolbars are a little bit scrunched down because I have this, I'm trying to make the video in a certain space for the program I'm using to make this. All right, so I'm going to double space it, and I use my keyboard shortcut Control-2, but you can go here, you can see it's double spaced. And I need a first line indent. So it's giving me a first line indent on most of them. I don't have a first line indent here, and so I'm going to have to get rid of that blank and first line indent, get rid of that blank and first line indent, and I have a first line indent. So I've hit the tab key there. So for some reason, occasionally the tab key will show instead of the first line indent. It really doesn't matter which one, you just want to make sure it's indented. All right, so these need to be left, these do not need to be first line indented. So I'm gonna take that, and I can either do it this way by dragging that little top arrow on my ruler bar, and I have my ruler bar turned on, or I can use the decrease indent button up here. And well, usually that will work and it will do it, but it's not. So I'm just going to do it this way. I should also be able to hit the backspace key. Let me backspace. So it just got rid of them when I backspaced them. And we need, and that's fine for now. So the other thing about an MLA paper is that it has a heading, something in the header area, and a heading area. So I'm going to start with the header area. I'm going to double click up into this header area, and the header opens up. And you can see that I have some tab stops here. So I'm going to hit the tab and hit the tab again. And we need the author's last name. So you'll put in your last name. Do not put in my last name. Put in your last name. And then we need a page number here. So one of the choices we have on this header footer dialog box, now that we've gotten to the header, you'll notice you have a new ribbon open. We have page number. Now I have my cursor blinking right here exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to say insert page number at the current position, and I'm just going to use the plain number. For MLA, this is what you want to do. But you want to make sure there's a space there. You don't want it to look like your name is right next to the number. You need a little space in there. And now the number's gray because the computer's in control of it. And that's good because on page 2, we want to see page 2. And if you type page 1 in here, you're going to see that whatever you typed on every page. So I typed Wilkins, but then I told the computer to put in the number. All right, so that's our header area. And now we need a heading area. So we're going to, I'm going to hit the enter key and go back to here, to up here, and grab and bring that back to this, to the left margin. And in the header area, you need the author's name. So I'm going to be Star Wilkins. And then we need the teacher's name. Well, and that's again, let me make this Star Student so it's not Wilkins. And then I'm going to make this student too, just because I should. And I want you to know it's not, you're using not. We need the class, the name of the class, which for this class it's BTEC 120, and we need the date. And today is April 13th, so when I start to type, my autocomplete pops up, so I hit the enter key. And that's the 4 parts of the header. In an MLA paper, we don't use a cover page. That's an APA or some other styles. So in MLA, you just put all of that cover page information right here in the heading area. Now we also need a title, and the title needs to be centered. And we'll just call this the Samoan culture. And now the whole document needs to be in Times New Roman 12, and this is not. I've been typing in Calibri 11. So I'm going to select the whole document. I used Control A, which is select everything. And I'm going to change it to Times New Roman. You can see it's one of my recently used fonts. And 12 point. Let me just make sure it's 12 point. Okay. All right. So most activities are done together. I have a lot of red squiggly underlines, but these are Samoan words, so we have to leave them alone. I think that this is yelling at me because it is passive voice. Yes, that's what I thought. So I'm just going to ignore. And again, these aren't going to print out. And again, this was just plagiarized. I grabbed it from different spaces on the internet. So it's in passive voice, and Microsoft doesn't like you to use passive voice. And if you don't know what passive and active voice is, please ask your instructor. They'll be happy to explain. Now look, this student 1 is not in Times New Roman 12 point. So I'm going to select this because it should be, and change it to Times New Roman and 12 point. That's the thing about MLA is you have to make sure everything's the same. 12 all the way around, even when we get into the footnotes. Okay, so for the most part, this is the body of the document itself. Now we have some things we have to do. We have to add a citation. We have to add a footnote. There's a footnote in here somewhere. Where's our citation? I thought the footnote was up near the top. Oh, here it is, footnote here. Boy, that's very small. So I'm going to make this bigger on your copy so that you see it. It's because it's superscript. Let's unsuperscript it. Okay. So your copy, this will be big, so it's easy to see. All right, so we're going to insert citations and insert footnotes. And I'm going to do the footnote first because it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to click this and get rid of footnote here. And I don't want it to be bold, so I have to make sure that bold is turned off. And now the footnote should be right next to the period, not next to the T. It should be blinking right here because the footnote has to do with this sentence, not with the sentence starting the. So I'm going to I'm going to my References tab, and I'm going to say Insert Footnote. And that's going to pop a little number 1 there, and now it's blinking down here, and this is called the footnote separator. So my cursor's blinking, and the footnote, you'll have all of this on a separate sheet of paper, so you don't have to worry about copying from here. And I'm just going to type, and it's hard for me to type and speak at the same time. So you'll notice that this footnote is Calibri 10, the Microsoft default, and it can't be that way. It has to be Times New Roman, oh, I already moved past that, Times New Roman, 12 point, first line indent, just like the rest of the document. Your footnote has to be the same as the document. That's MLA style. Now when I put my cursor up here, I actually get to see what the footnote says. So in a long paper, that's handy to have. Or if you're at the top of the page and you can't see the footnote down below, you would just put your thing there. Now, to get rid of the footnote, you don't get rid of the footnote here, because if you do that, you still have your footnote separator, and you can't select that footnote separator, right? To get rid of the footnote, you have to get rid of the little number 1. And once you do that, the footnote disappears. But I'm going to put it back in. All right, so there we go. There's our footnote. Okay, on to citations. Now, citations are different. Citations are information that you copied either directly or paraphrased from your source, and you need to give credit to that author. So this first citation here comes from a source number 4. Now again, the sources I have on a separate piece of paper for you, so you'll get to see all 4 sources. And the thing about it, the source is that's a source from your bibliography. So your bibliography, you're going to create the bibliography, or you're going to insert the citation, and as you start to insert citations, you're creating the bibliography as you go. Or in MLA, it's called works cited. And now we have to choose the style as MLA. So I have MLA 7th edition. I think there's an MLA 8th edition out there, but Word 2016 doesn't have it. All right, so I'm going to insert a citation right here, and I want the citation to be, I'm going to put a space there, but then I'm going to insert the citation. Now I don't have a citation because there's not one here. I haven't made my source yet. So I'm going to add a new source. So that said, it was from source number 4, which when I look, source number 4 is an electronic source. It's an encyclopedia, Encarta. Oh, that's not the author. That's the corporate title, I guess, corporate author. The corporate author is, no, it's Encarta. I'm going to go here. Encarta. And the title, oh, I see. Yes, no, it is a corporate author. Okay. Sorry. See, this is tricky. You might want to ask a librarian how would they do this. The librarians are experts at this. So the title of the article in Encarta was Samoan Facts and Figures. It comes from, I don't know. It's electronic. It was in 2008. And, well, Encarta is Microsoft. So I think I'm going to put up here Microsoft Encarta. Now, if this was a real report, students, I would go to the library and I would talk to a librarian. I am not a specialist on this topic. So I'm a specialist on formatting words, Word, but I'm not an expert on citing sources. That's your English 101 instructor or librarian or, one of those people. All right, so I could show all the bibliographic fields if I wanted to. We don't need to, just the red ones are recommended, but there's more. If I wanted to type the URL in here, I could. I'm not going to. So those are the ones that you should have, or as many as you can. I'm going to say okay, and let's see what it does for the citation. So it says Microsoft Encarta. Again, it's gray because the computer's in control of it. And if I wanted to edit the citation, I could, and I could say, page number 25, or something like that. And if there was too much information, like if the year was there also, I could say suppress that or don't show it. Okay, my time is running out here. I have another citation to add, and I don't want to delete I'll just delete it this way. I want to be careful and not get the period, space. And my next one comes from the third source, which is the World Council of Churches, and that's not on here. So I have to add a new source. And the World Council of Churches was a website. And the author was a corporate author, and it's the World Council of Churches. The name of the web page was Pacific Samoa. The year was 2008. The month was June. The day was 15. This is when the web page was created, and the year we accessed it was today. So that's 2017, April 13th, and it's electronic, so I'm not going to worry about that. All right, I'm going to say okay. So my citation is, where did it go? Right here, World Council of Churches. So it's a website. Now I have two more sources I need to cite, and then I need to make a bibliography or a works cited page. So I need to manage my sources. So here's, I have another one sitting in my library here. I need to delete that. All right, so here's the two I have, and I need two more. So I'm going to create a new one. The new one is a website. Oh, yes, it's a website. The author, there's no known author. The name of the web page was Samoan Sensation. It was created in 2004 in May 4th, and we accessed it today, 2017. So MLA version 6 or 6th edition, you actually typed the URL, but we don't need that anymore. In the 7th and 8th edition, they've taken that away. So there's not a lot of information we need to put down here. Okay. And then we have one more. And the last source is, again, a website. It's a corporate author, and the corporate author is the U.S. Department of State. So I'm going to finish this one, and then I'm going to show you how to create that bibliography. Okay, so this one is finished, and now we have our 4 sources, and we are going to create the bibliography. So I'm going to close this, and you can see which 2 were cited within the document. And so for our works cited page, we need a new page. So I'm going to make sure to put a page break there. And then I'm going to make sure this says MLA, and then I'm going to do a works cited page. And voila, it does it for us. Now the thing it doesn't do is make it the right font and the right size. So we need to go back and make sure that it's double spaced and that everything is right. Now with a bibliography or a works cited page, this does not need to be blue. We'll put it in the center. It can be colored, automatic. You'll notice the hanging indent. That's this bottom triangle, and if you put your cursor there, hanging indent. So that's your works cited page. I don't need this. Whoops, I don't need that. It's not going to go back, so I'm just going to leave it. All right, so that's your report. That's your MLA style report, and this is what you will turn in to me with your third assignment sheet, Word Chapter 2. If you have any questions, let me know.